Hi everyone, and welcome to another RMC Mean Streak update. My name is Jim from WildGravityTravels.com, bringing you the latest construction progress on RMC Mean Streak from Frontier Town here at Cedar Point. And our first bit of news away from the coaster again is the Hootenanny signs have gone up. And that is for the 2018 announcement, which we will be at next week. We'll be here in Frontier Town for a Hootenanny where they will be announcing the coaster and all the details, hopefully, of the coaster, which is currently we're calling RMC Mean Streak because the company Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC, is putting new track, obviously, or has been putting new track on Mean Streak, and there we can see it in the distance. So we'll get over to that area in just a moment. We're going to check on the wanted signs and take a look at the updates to those since our last update. I know it has been a couple weeks, almost a couple weeks since our last update, so I want to give you a look at that. We've shared pictures but not done an actual post like this, and this will be our last post before we hopefully learn the name of the coaster next week here at Cedar Point. So be sure to join us on Facebook and Twitter for that, and stay tuned for our post after the announcement is over. So as we've come over here to the wanted posters, or where we first saw the wanted posters, we see the two that we showed you last time, Wyatt Digger Dempsey and Chess Wild One Watkins. However, now we have Blackjack Chamberlain, and of course he's got a little hidden Easter egg on his wanted sign as well. An affable, charming appearance, but a mean streak lies beneath, of course in reference to the coaster this is replacing. So you can see he's got a playing card kind of cut off here in the corner of his poster. He's wanted for trespassing, destruction of property, horse trading, illegal wagering, and embezzlement. Warning, he stands tall in the face of adversity, will beat the odds in any match, and he can take on a full house and end up aces high, which is, of course, ace high there. Now with these three characters, we've had several speculation as to whether they would be names of the trains, sort of like we see over here with Maverick nearby, or whether these guys would be some sort of villains we would battle throughout the ride. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we find out about that and more with the announcement. I'm sure we will be seeing these characters probably interrupting the Hootenanny next week, so we will keep our eyes open on that. Next up, we're going to head on over to the coaster and see what's been happening since our last update. We've made our way back here to the railroad crossing, and I want to start at the top with the lift here. The lift hasn't really moved since last update, other than we do have steps, which we will be able to see from a couple different angles. I did take video on the way in once again on our way into the park, so that will be exciting to check out, see the steps on the lift hill. We still don't have any signs of a lift hill chain. However, the track layout looks to be pretty much done, other than the top of that lift right here and then that first drop. Everywhere else we've seen supports now have track, and that includes something we showed you in our last update, the signs of an inversion. And it's going to be really hard to make this one out from this angle. Hopefully once the train leaves we'll go over and get a different angle of it. You can see the track there kind of vaguely twisting in, and there is the upside down support we showed you, where the track is actually upside down, or you will be upside down, and all the way down rolls into that final twist and heads that direction. Now the coaster does generally follow the same layout as Mean Streak, just obviously with a lot more extreme elements, like this inversion we showed you almost a month and a half ago now, at least, if not longer. And then we have this twisting inversion here. So that makes for 3 total inversions that we found on the coaster. Might be a 4th, not really certain of that. Down here underneath the woodwork we see the track has all been laid that we were looking at last time. All of this track is done, and that again goes across here. There's another little airtime hill lurking behind the 2 rails that we've already seen, and across there. As far as work being done today, we see a crane up holding somebody harnessed in over there. Not going to be able to make them out from this angle, but they are under the mid-course brake run area. Looks like they're doing little cleanup work. Again, not much track work left to be done other than the top, and that could be a surprise on what actually happens, or what the top of the lift is all about. So here, one more look from this angle, this area of the park. We can see the track they were installing last time, and then of course, they were right here inside these supports installing track last time in our last video update and picture post. And then this track was all sitting there but was not installed, so it's going to be hard to see, but you got to look for the red track there, and that runs through. The inversion is actually right behind this tree, and then it runs across and goes that direction. And again, this does follow pretty much the same layout as Mean Streak, just with a little bit different action, of course, a lot more excitement, and most importantly to a lot of us, a lot smoother of a ride. So we're going to go over by the train station, see if we can get any other shots of the coaster and see what we can see from those angles. Stay tuned. After that, we'll be heading over to the campground and doing a couple angles from over there to wrap up our last post before we learn the name, I hope, of RMC Mean Streak. So as we've come over here by the exit of the train station area, we can see the lift somewhat through the tree here. Not a great view, but you can see those railings for the stairwells going downward there. So they're putting in the railings there for the stairwell on the lift hill. Over here, where it exits, we've seen the installation recently of the handrails as you exit the station to start the ride. And then over here, beside it, this is all the track that I've seen that remains to be installed, and it actually all looks like straight track. So this could be our first drop and the rest of our lift hill. Likely more the rest of our lift hill, but like I said, these pieces aren't really angled that I can see, which would lend itself to the idea that we may be getting a vertical drop or near vertical drop on the coaster for at least some distance. As we go way back in the corner here, we get one quick shot of where the track currently leaves off. And there you see again that railing. So we're going to be headed out to the campground to check that out from that angle, and anything else we may see. I'll also be including the video of us driving in, as I mentioned before. We'll get a much better view of that lift, I hope, as we continue our look at RMC Mean Streak. Stay tuned. So on our way in, as we pass Maverick and get a look at the project here, you can see the bright colored brown wood there. That's the railing for the steps that we showed you from inside the park. And as we round the turn, we get a pretty sun-drenched side of where the first drop will be coming out and going up into that turn. As we move on to the next video of On Our Way Out, we can see that same angle a little better. You can see one little piece of track sitting over in this area, but most of the track is actually over by that station exit. And as I mentioned, most of it is straight line except for a couple curved pieces. Obviously that would be the valley of the first drop. Looks to be still the only remaining pieces left to be installed. That will probably not get done until after the announcement. So over here from the campground, we see two workers. Can sort of see them there. There's one guy right here, and then one guy right above him right here. We actually hear what sounds like chainsaws going on. They appear to be cutting some of the wood off of the structure over here, possibly just clearing for like train clearance and that when the ride is going to operate. So we can see two guys right here. Working on cutting some wood away, or what appears to be cutting some wood away. And actually we've just spotted a third guy down here. So he's in the woodwork as well. And you can see him, he's going to be climbing up there. While we're over here, the sun's in kind of a bad place, but we can sort of see where the lift's at. Looks to be in about the same place. The only difference we see today is the addition of the steps along the lift hill, or along the first hill right here. We can see the steps fully installed up to the level that they are at. So as we take one look here at the mid-course brake run and one of those overbank turns that have been in there since the beginning of our updates, this is going to wrap up this edition of the RMC Mean Streak construction update. My name is Jim from WildGravityTravels.com. Be sure to click on over to the full picture post for more details. Also, hopefully again, this will be the last update before the announcement, so stay tuned and watch us go live on Facebook, etc. Socials, follow the Twitter, etc. For all of the updates from the announcement day here at Cedar Point for RMC Mean Streak. We'll also have more details and posts on every coaster Cedar Fair the company announces throughout the couple days after the announcement day. We'll be getting those posts up. So be sure to watch for all those posts and watch for our live shots. Once again, my name's Jim, WildGravityTravels.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course this YouTube page. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and like all of our posts. Feel free to share anything you want. And hopefully next time I'm coming to you from one of these updates, we'll have a name for this beautiful new coaster by RMC. Have a great day and a week ahead, everybody.